The distance a jet travels varies directly as the number of hours it flies. A jet traveled 3,420 miles in 6 hours. We're going to do three things with this information. We're going to write a direct variation equation, we're going to graph the equation, and then we're going to use the equation to make an estimate. Okay, so let's start off by writing the direct variation equation. And this time, instead of y and x, it says we're going to use d and t, the distance flown in t time. So instead of our usual y equals kx, we're going to use d equals, and I guess we could do kt, but since this is we're going to be doing the speed of the jet, I'm going to use like r for rate just because then we're using the regular distance equals rate times time formula. There's nothing wrong with using k. We're going to replace it with a number anyway. But I'm just going to use d equals rt because that's the distance formula. Okay, so it goes 3,420 miles. That's going to go right here where d is. And it takes it 6 hours to do it. That's going to go right here where time is. And that's going to help us find our constant of variation, which is how we're going to get the equation. So 3,420 equals r times 6. Okay. So we just need to divide by 6. So divide both sides by 6. This is the division property of equality. And so on this side, the 6's will cancel, leaving us with just r. And over here, this is going to be 570. Okay, so our equation is y equals, oh, not y, sorry, d equals 570 t. Great. Okay, next thing we want to do is graph the equation. To graph a line, we need 2 points. We know that this is a direct variation equation, not only because the problem says it varies directly, but also because we know that the jet will travel 0 miles in 0 hours. So one of our points can be 0, 0, and the other point can be the one the problem gives us. In 6 hours, it's gone 3,420 miles. So let's use those two for our points, and let's just do a real quick sketch. Like here and here. And so we're going to do, this will be time in hours along the t-axis. And then this is going to be distance in miles along the d-axis. Okay, and so we've got 0, 0 right here. That could be one of our points. And then we need 6 and 3,420. So let's do this to get our 6. I'm just using the inch marks on the ruler here. There we go. Okay, we can do 7 marks there. And then for 3,420, let's see what we can do. Let's go. I'm gonna have to make this a little bit longer, I think, so you can go 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Let's go a little bit longer, right up here and do 4,000. Okay. Okay, so this is gonna be 1K, 2K, 3K. Oh, this line is ugly. 4K. And then this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we'll do our point at 6 hours, and in between 3,000 and 4,000, that's about 3,420. There we go. Okay, that is a we'll call that graph passable. That is a passable graph. We are not going to win any graphing awards for that one, I don't think. That's okay. I don't think they give graphing awards. I could be wrong. Okay, there we go. If they give graphing awards, if that is a contest that exists, we are not going to win for that graph. Okay, there we go. So there's a passable graph. Okay, and then the last thing we're going to do is estimate how many hours it will take for an airliner to fly 6,500 miles. So that means the distance is going to be 6,500 miles, and it wants us to find the time. So let's take our equation, which was d equals 570t, and we're going to replace the d with 6,500. And so we're going to have to do some division here. We're going to use the division property of equality to divide both sides by 570. So these 570s are going to cancel. And I'm sorry to say, I am going to have to use my calculator here because I have no idea what 6,500 divided by 570 is. Let's see what my calculator says. So 6,500 divided by 570 is, let's see, I got 11.4035. And it keeps going. Let's just call that 11.4. So it will take, oops, let's be good. Let's write our approximately equal to. It will take about 11.4 hours to fly 6,500 miles. There we go.